Coming up on Grady Newsource, we're live on the scene as the number 3 ranked Georgia softball team looks to reverse a 2-game losing streak tonight at 6. Plus, how Chamber of Commerce members for Jackson County gathered together today to discuss preserving the agricultural personality of the district. And details on the upcoming solar eclipse, including the time to be on the lookout for it and how to safely view this historic event. All this and more, live at 5.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
And the best way to avoid them?
Election day is less than 2 months away, but the candidates are already campaigning. In addition to the general primary, voters also have the chance to cast a ballot for their local officials. We're joined live by Grady Newsource reporter Carly Ferris, who spoke with one of the candidates for the Athens-Clarke County District 6 Commissioner seat.
Hey, Mackenzie. Yes, I spoke with Rashi Malcolm, who is running for Commissioner of Athens District 6. The spot opened up because Commissioner Jesse Houle is stepping down after their single term.
So, what did you and Malcolm discuss?
She told me about how her experience as a small business owner will help her in her work as a commissioner if she is elected. She also discusses what she believes is the biggest issue facing District 6 and how she plans to address it. Let's see what she has to say.
Work with economic development to bring in these larger scale industries, to bring in those high paying jobs, that definitely give a living wage and that give us a variety of opportunities here in Athens. But there are some red tape, and that red tape goes in with some of our policies. And I would consider those in those departments to be the experts, yes, but sometimes our experiences and having to actually go through the process that those policies are set forth, that on the other side wrote them based on their knowledge, but not necessarily on the practical end of being a small business owner. I'll say it like that. And so that's where I feel like my experience could come in. So in District 6, we have a lot of infrastructure and traffic issues. To the point where, we have a large rainfall and we have streets that are flooding, we have sewer, coming up in people's yards. Our children can't go to school. We had approximately, please don't exactly quote me on this, but the last statistic I saw, we had 21 deaths, on roadways. A lot of our traffic and our transportation, GDOT has a lot to do with. So as a commissioner, I can't necessarily change all of those, but I can advocate for the needs of what we have in District 6 and making it plain and clear to them why these fatalities, even if it's just one, is too much for our district.
I've also reached out to Rashi's opponent, Stephanie Johnson, and we hope to bring you an interview with her as soon as I hear back from her to tell you about her plans if she gets elected. Just a reminder, Election Day is Tuesday, May 21st.
Thanks, Carly. The University of Georgia's 4-H program is the largest youth development organization in the state. Grady Newsource reporter Jessica Moore tells us about its biggest fundraising push of the year.
Georgia 4-H empowers young people with developmental skills through camps, hands-on experiences, and projects. Tomorrow is their biggest fundraising push. April 4th is $4 for 4-H, where donors can donate multiples of 4 to support the county of their choice in Georgia.
I think one of the great things is you find an area that you have a passion in, and we meet you at that area with communication skill development, leadership skill development, and all that boils up into workforce development.
4-H serves more than 170,000 young people in every county in Georgia through the university's extension program, built around 4 core ideas: agriculture, STEM, healthy living, and civic engagement.
So tomorrow, it's like game time. We'll be monitoring the progress all day. We do a lot of social media posts tomorrow. We actually have a map, and the map has all the Georgia counties, and they start out as white. But when a county gets 4 donations, that county turns green.
Since the number 4 is such an essential theme within Georgia 4-H, tomorrow's goal is to raise $74,444.
So at the end of the day, our focus is really on building the next generation of leaders and workers that can help advance Georgia and come here to the University of Georgia and be great students as well.
Keep up with Georgia 4-H's social media accounts tomorrow to donate and stay updated on the campaign. For Grady Newsource, I'm Jessica Moore.
This is down to the Final Four. Grady Newsource reporter Taft Gant was on the scene in Arizona earlier today, gathering the latest on tonight's big matchups.
I'm Taft Gant here at State Farm Stadium in Phoenix, Arizona, the site of the men's college basketball Final Four, and just as signs say around the city, and then there were 4. UConn, Purdue, NC State, and Alabama all have made it to Phoenix to compete for the 2024 Men's College Basketball National Championship. And there are so many storylines this year in Phoenix, starting with the UConn Huskies, who are looking to win back-to-back national titles. And then you have a Cinderella team like NC State, who had to win the ACC Championship just to make March Madness. Now they're on a 9-game winning streak. And that's not even to mention reigning Naismith Men's College Basketball Player of the Year, Zach Edey for Purdue, and then Mark Sears, first team All-SEC from Alabama. So many good games to look forward to on Saturday. The semifinals start at 6 p.m. with the national championship on Monday evening. For Grady Newsource, I'm Taft Gant.
The UGA Cognitive Aging Research and Education Center will be receiving $500,000 in federal funding from Senator Jon Ossoff. Grady Newsource reporter Karina Murray finds out how this money will help support those suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia.
The Cognitive Aging Research and Education Center is a clinical research and outreach space education that provides planning and support for people with dementia and their care partners. Stephen Correa, Director of Neuropsychology, says the funding is the help they need.
The funding that this appropriations bill gives us will really help us grow that clinic.
The Care Center focuses on the rural areas of the state that are underserved and under-resourced, and Correa says this information needs to be shared.
In terms of promoting cognitive health in aging, and in terms of dementia awareness, dementia diagnosis, and dementia care. That's our goal for the state of Georgia.
Senator Jon Ossoff explains on his website why bipartisan legislators are investing in this research, saying thousands of Georgia families experience the difficulties of caring for loved ones with Alzheimer's and dementia every year. For families living in rural areas or out of state, it's even harder to access the care they need. Currently, the Care Center serves as a part-time clinic for patients who are referred by primary care providers. Correa says they have a step-by-step process to assess each patient.
But most patients get then referred to me for a detailed neuropsychological assessment, and Don renders his medical opinion, I render my opinion, and then we come up with a consensus diagnosis and treatment plan.
Not only do they treat the patient, but they also treat the loved ones.
And while they're getting the caregiver support, we partner with the Hodgson School of Music, the music therapy department, and we conduct music therapy.
While the grant came as a surprise for the center, Lisa Renzi Hammond, care co-director, expresses her gratitude.
It's an incredible investment. And I think it really shows that Georgia's legislatures are focused on Georgia's communities. And
the co-director of UGA Care says that this will directly impact their goal to grow all over Georgia, but specifically to help those rural areas. I'm Karina with Grady Newsource.
Coming up, an option for kids during spring break to occupy their time here in Jackson County.
For some, spring break can mean boredom.
So long, Bobby, is...
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive,
you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Jackson County Public Schools are on spring break this week. Grady Newsource reporter Will Hopkins looks as an option for students to fill the time.
For some, spring break can mean boredom. For Jackson County kids, the University of Georgia Extension is helping.
This is the first time we've done a spring break game-a-thon sort of activity. It's just an opportunity for kids to come have a relaxed time.
There's a fee of $5 for participants.
And just be a pizza lunch and drinks.
The Game-a-thon event will allow kids to interact with each other and play games.
Happy Salmon, which is kind of just a fun card game, a cooperative game called Forbidden Island, where they work as a small group to escape an island that's sinking beneath the waves with the treasures. We're going to have one of our adult volunteers come in and lead a role-playing game.
I'm big in RPGs and role-playing games and stuff, and I thought it was an opportunity to maybe get a couple kids interested in the hobby.
Coombs has volunteered at the extension a couple times a month for the past few years.
The opportunity to take part in another world, it's always been interesting to me.
The Jackson County Extension serves multiple purposes centered around learning, including in agriculture and its 4-H program.
Head, heart, hands, and health.
4-H is a larger learning program throughout Georgia that focuses on agriculture and STEM, but the upcoming event is more about fun.
Youth can come here to the University of Georgia Extension at Jackson County, with the event beginning at 11 a.m. and running until 3 p.m. It is open to people in the age range of 4th grade through the end of high school. For more information, people can email jspage@uga.edu. Will Hopkins, Grady Newsource.
After almost 7 years, a total solar eclipse will take place in the United States on Monday, April 8th. It will begin at 1:47 p.m. and reach its maximum view at 3:06. Grady Newsource reporter Ashley Simmons is live in the newsroom with more on what to expect on Monday. Hey Ashley, so what can Georgians expect when it comes to viewing this eclipse?
Thanks, Mackenzie. So this is the route in which the solar eclipse will take place on Monday. So if you are located in this region of the country, you will have a great view. As you can see, Georgia, we're not quite in the pathway, but we still will have a partial view of the eclipse on Monday. This is very exciting as this has not happened since August 2017, almost 7 years ago. But we also have some sun and vision safety tips if you are planning on viewing the eclipse on Monday. So be sure to use solar viewing glasses instead of regular shades after and before the totality of the eclipse. But once the moon is covering the sun and it's full, you can take off those glasses and look up at the sky to view that eclipse. But once the moon is moving, be sure to put those glasses back on so you won't have any vision problems later. Also, the sun will be very bright, so be sure to use sunscreen, wear a hat, or any other protective clothing to protect yourself from any skin damage. The duration of the solar eclipse is predicted to be 2 hours and 35 minutes long, and I don't know about you guys, but I am totally excited for Monday to come. For Grady Newsource, I'm Ashley Simmons. Back to you in the studio, Mackenzie, as I know you too are excited for Monday.
Yes, Ashley, I am very excited to see that eclipse. The Madison County School District has announced that school dismissals will be delayed on Monday, April 8th because of the solar eclipse. Elementary and middle schools will be let out at 3:15, while Madison County High School will release at 3:30. The Early Learning Center release time will not change. Parents checking out their students must do so before 2 p.m. Madison County author Layla Lawson for the 2024 Georgia Author of the Year Award for her novel So Long, Bobby. Grady Newsource reporter Presley Owen shares more on the story.
Is one of Lilia Lawson's 5 published novels, and this particular historical fiction has landed her a nomination for the Georgia Author of the Year Award. Lawson explains that she is a person who has always enjoyed reading.
I'm a voracious reader, and I come from a family of readers who love fiction and love storytelling.
Lawson began writing when she was a young girl, starting with short stories, then progressing to poetry, and now writing novels.
I always saw books as something kind of magical, and I wanted a part of that.
And her love for reading has led her into a career of writing in the historical fiction, horror, and Southern Gothic genres. Lawson says that she is greatly inspired by author Stephen King, and that her goal is to write about the time periods of Georgia history that is typically looked over like the 60s.
I've probably drawn from his writing style and from his advice, because he's published a couple of books with writing advice. I draw from that more than anyone.
This is actually Lawson's second nomination for Georgia Author of the Year Award. She was first nominated back in 2020 for her debut novel, Monarchs Under the Sassafras Tree, but was sadly not able to attend the ceremony due to COVID. She is especially looking forward to the festivities this year. Lawson says,
and with the state of publishing right now, it's nice to have a win, even if it's just a nomination.
She is not busy writing. You can run into Terry Drake Floyd exploring local history. She says,
traipsing around historical sites and graveyards is my jam.
A challenge that Lawson has had to overcome during her career is imposter syndrome, but support from her community and businesses within it has given her the platform that she needs to achieve her dreams.
Avid Bookshop has been really supportive of my career since the beginning.
Here at Avid Bookshop, they sell her novels and host events like book signings and meet and greets. With a couple more books set to publish next year, Lawson does not plan on stopping anytime soon.
Students wishing to transfer schools in Clark County have until the end of the month to fill out a transfer application for the next school year. Parents can apply to transfer their student to a school outside of their attendance zone, provided that the space is available. The application is on the school district's website, and the window to apply closes on April 30th. Coming up after the break, Grady Newsource reporter Sarah Fredrickson brings us the 5-day forecast.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, that's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
We're all under
severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado watches until around 3 a.m. But today, you could probably hardly tell with all the sunshine. And looking at the rest of the week ahead, we'll be seeing a lot of clear skies and sunshine. And even better are the temperatures we'll be seeing. Looking at tonight, the low is only supposed to dip into the low 40s. Thursday and Friday are going to look pretty similar to what we had today, with highs in high 50s and low 60s, and the lows getting down into the high 40s. Saturday and Sunday will be a little bit warmer, getting up to 66 on Saturday and 71 on Sunday. But you'll probably still need a jacket, especially when it cools down in the evenings to 39 on Saturday and 46 on Sunday. That's all I have for weather today. I'm Sarah Fredrickson for Grady Newsource. Coming up after the break, David Everly joins us live from UGA's softball game to give us a preview of the game.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please. I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. I'm David Eberly, here with you live in a wonderful sunny day at Jack Turner Stadium as the ESPN number 3 ranked Georgia softball team is taking on the Mercer Bears at the top of the hour. Georgia's coming into this after a odd series loss this past weekend against Arkansas, while Mercer is coming in hot, 6-3 in their last 9, with 2 huge Mercy Rule victories this past weekend against Western Carolina. For the Dogs, the story this season has been Sarah Mosley. If history has said anything about this matchup, the Dogs are looking like favorites as they're 22-1 against Mercer all time, as Mercer hasn't won a single game against the Dogs since 2018. From Jack Turner Stadium, I'm David Eberly, Grady Newsource.
Next up on Grady Newsource, hear about how the Jackson County Agricultural Facility promotes agriculture in the county and brings the community together.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
With April being Earth Month, Grady Newsource reporter Molly Langdon shows us how Jackson County promotes its agricultural lifestyle through community events and dedicated agricultural facilities.
The agricultural facility hosted various livestock shows, agricultural meetings, Chamber of Commerce breakfasts, gun shows, and farmers markets to try and incorporate the agricultural personality of Jackson County into the community.
People moving here wanted to maintain its agricultural personality and culture, but like there's a challenge to do that when there's so much residential growth, and they're trying to manage that.
Jackson County ranked the 4th fastest growing county in the U.S. for 2023, growing 5.5% since 2022. With this rapid population growth, faculty manager David Burton says he's dedicated to showcasing the county's agricultural history through hanging local residents' photographs along the entrance walls.
There'll come a day, no matter how hard we try, that you know there'll be less and less agriculture in Jackson County, and this will serve as a as a monument or I guess to chronicle the fact that it was very agrarian at one time.
While the Jackson County Agricultural Facility was thought to first just be for livestock exhibition, let me show you how much this space serves the Jackson County community. Come along. In here is the arena where events are held, like galas and other things that the community hosts. Come along for the next part. Now we're in the multi-purpose area where people can come and bring their animals for livestock exhibitions and put them right here under these electrical outlets and build a slot.
Jackson County for a long time needed a space where we could put quite a few more people.
$4.8 million flowed into the Jackson County economy from visitors to the agricultural facility, with over $100,000 in rental income in 2023.
The economic development impact to bring these people to our community that might stay in an Airbnb, that go and eat, that use our caterers, what have you. And so that's where it's really impacted our community.
Burton says 2024 looks promising, with every weekend of the year already booked. With Grady Newsource, I'm Molly Langdon.
That's all for our show today. Thank you for watching. From the entire Newsource crew, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you back here on Monday. See you later.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Did
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
But you thought of so many interesting ways to do your show, so many interesting opportunities, including the fact that Taft is in Arizona. So we sort of had a Arizona correspondent on March Madness. And the clips for the teasers, although you could have had the pre-show tease with those wonderful clips as well. First time producing, that is quite incredible. You know, and I'd like to hear from you, you know, how this felt, because you kept, with every hour, you kept gaining confidence and playing with things and being on top of everything. And yeah, you did very well. You did very well. We had some technical glitches, and if you want to tell us, I know that with Presley's package, that was something. Do you have any advice for her for that package, the audio? There was some kind of... Maybe it was your hair was on it or something. Yeah, maybe your hair was on it, and you didn't listen to it to find out. You just had to let it go. Yeah, yeah. And don't pan. There was a pan which was, you know, you could have done sequences. Otherwise, it was, you had an amazing character, this woman, this writer, and very interesting sound bites. And she's a local Madison County writer. So it was very interesting. Just those technical glitches took away from a piece that was really very interesting and compelling character. Yeah. But I'll let you tell us how we did technically. I think there were a few sort of late packages.
We had a couple. We had a couple of late packages today, which made it a little bit harder because we didn't have those in till 4:50 or so, and that makes our lives harder. Just to add insult to injury, Rundown and Small Tree and TriCaster all kind of had a freak out also at about 4:50. So when we were trying to transfer over all of those last packages and get all of our final prep work done and get our volunteers situated, we couldn't because the tech stopped working, which kind of meant that first 2 or 3 minutes of the show was a little messy on our end because we couldn't do any of our prep work. So I say this every week, but if those packages could be in by 4:30, that would really make our lives easier and let us maybe have found that out 10 minutes earlier and been able to fix it 10 minutes earlier so that we could have moved forward and not had it been a problem while we were live.
And I'm so sorry, this is one of our last shows and we still couldn't get everything on time.
No worries.
But we have 1, 2 more, 3 more. Yeah, so hopefully by the farewell show, we'll
be perfect by then.
Yeah, because that really, I mean, what happened on Monday was also very difficult. Yeah, and these are just small things and everything else you know, suffers. But at least Monday's show is uploaded and fixed so that you can put some of that great content from Monday's show on your reels. And so it was saved by Andrew. And anything else we need to?
Other than that,
the audio. Why at certain points again, Mackenzie?
So
her audio
we just like. Honestly, I don't know why. Like Andrew went down there and checked your mic, and I don't think he even changed anything. But all of a sudden, you were back. And we had that with Sarah's mic too.
It, or if your chair was on top of the wire.
We did have to move those chairs.
Yeah.
So it might have just been that something got disconnected.
Whoever is anchoring next time, take a look at your wire, the wires, and make sure that you're not sitting on it or it's, you know, you're rolling over it with the chair. Because it's just little things like that, and it's like, you know, it doesn't take much, but be vigilant about that but don't worry. I mean, you look great, very solid anchoring, very, very well done. Carly, that was interesting, your first kind of interview Q&A. I have a few things just to explain to you a little bit more what I meant with that interview. I remembered who Rashi Malcolm is. My students had done during COVID an article on her, my other students, my sustainability, because she managed to keep her restaurant open during COVID thanks to the community. They all decided that they were going to support her, and they bought food from her. And so she is quite a star in her environment. Yeah. So kudos for getting that, and I hope that you will we also need to hear from her opponent. But now I remembered who she is, and that we have done stories on her. My students have done stories on her. Very solid anchoring. One thing, when you're sitting next to an anchor, when you toss back to them, you know, look at them, you know, these are just little things, but you can watch yourself again, and you will see that it would have worked better if you hadn't said, thank you, Mackenzie, and kept looking at the viewer instead of the anchor. But these are little things just that I want you to know. I think you were incredible today. You never gave up. You kept going, chasing a story that was very sensitive about the petition for a recall of the mayor. I don't know how many people, you know, you called, you emailed. You didn't manage to get this, but you had this great interview as a backup, and I really appreciate that, you know, the stamina and the commitment you showed, and you've been showing throughout. And the thing about, I'd like to just spend a few moments about that interview format. What I meant is that was a little too long of a soundbite with one person, even though she's just quite incredible, the way she speaks. She owns the camera, but it was too long. I thought that you would be able to insert your question or something to turn around to the other topic, like a little graphic with a factoid, because it dragged a little bit. But again, it's something you had never done before, so that's why I am, you know, sharing it with all of you, because it seems like that's a format that you haven't worked with before. Because several of you have asked me, I don't have B-roll. I have this amazing newsmaker interview. What do I do with it? And the thing was, you know, if you shoot something like that, try to shoot your questions as well. And that will take a second camera. But if you don't, then there are other ways in which you can you can do a graphic with a question that you posed, so that there's something that guides the viewer through the different topics. And I know you guys don't watch broadcast, but you have to watch it because that's where you'll be working. That's where the jobs are. You will see how that format is done. Usually the anchor interviewing or the reporter interviewing is on camera asking the questions. But so I just wanted to explain, and I wanted again to say you did an excellent job. This is just me trying to take everybody to the next level, and you guys really impressed me, all of you. You should know that I'm really proud and really happy with all of you. Ashley did double double duty today. She stepped in because there were so many people missing. And we were like, what, 3 minutes? You know, we didn't have enough content. And what she did and what Sarah did at that smart board, I don't think our viewers know that you have no teleprompter. What you did was, I mean, we couldn't even tell that there was no teleprompter. You enjoyed yourself. You had your, it just kind of, it was contagious for the viewer. And just keep working on that. You know, the camera loves you. You love the camera. And it was just a wonderful, simple look live, and it worked very well. And I love the chemistry between the two of you, even though you were not sitting next to each other. But I love the chemistry. It was genuine the way you also said, I'm excited. It was genuine the way you were interacting with her. And so I really loved that as well. That was very well done. And that's another example of what all of you did today. Molly, with that creativity of those stand-ups, were just impressive. That is such a creative way to show people things that are not yet created, right? And we loved it. We were just like cheering you on. It was very well done. I mean, I've seen you growing with all your creativity and trying to make things, and you're always on top of newsy stuff, and those are not easy. Sometimes complicated, like last week you had some complicated things. So, you know, keep doing that. I was very, very happy and impressed. Hannah has not, you know, given up on, you know, that was... Yes, good. Yes. So today, Hannah and Jessica were a little, you know, they were discouraged because they didn't have their sources locked up, and they were like, "Can I pivot?" And I told Emily, I said, "I'll be the bad person. I don't want them to give up, because in the real world, they won't have that chance." And sure enough, you got 2 sources. You weren't even sure you would get 1. And you were not sure. You're on quick turn to the last moment. You waited, what, an hour and a half on an empty Zoom for your source? And then she came and she said, what should I do? And it was, what, 2:30? Well, I don't know. Yeah. And she's like, what can I do? And I said, don't give up. Have you called? Have you? And she got the source. The woman said, oh, I'm sorry, time got away from me. And you got it. So don't give up on your stories. And I'm glad that you persisted, and you didn't. All of you persisted today. All of you had challenges, and I think you learned a lot. Especially Carly, I think, learned a lot from all these, because she was dealing with a very sensitive story. She had to talk to people and make decisions. I feel like we talked a lot. She would say, and I would like everybody to hear from you, because you learned a lot, because you were dealing with politics, and you had that gut feeling that told you, no, this is not, if I don't have the other side of the story, I shouldn't do this. So do you want to share your day and your adventure, because everybody can learn from you?
So I started off wanting to still carry on with this District 6 commissioner election, just because I had this great interview and I really wanted to get the other side, but I literally reached out on last Friday, still nothing, every day persisting, still nothing. So we came up with this unique solution, but initially we were like, oh, let's do what was it? The mayor, yeah, and the recall for the mayor and the district attorney and the sheriff, because that was top news from yesterday, and so we thought, oh, this would be great to do. And so I was like, okay, let me pivot to that since I don't have my other interview. And then I was reaching out to all these different sources. Nobody was responding. I finally reached out to Dr. I forget her name.
Audrey Haynes.
Dr. Audrey Haynes. And she was sick, so I couldn't talk to her. And then she put me in contact with another student who ended up, she was working for the opposing district attorney campaign. And so I was like, oh, I'm not really sure. I don't have a good feeling about this because I don't think there would be some bias there. So I was like, okay, maybe this isn't great. So we talked through it, and we decided not to use her as a source. And then that's when I decided to do this other thing with the the interview.
And you said, how do I do it without B-roll?
Yeah, and so I said, how do I do this without B-roll? And she said, oh, you have a few options. We could just, have you kind of introducing the interview with Mackenzie and sort of seeing how that goes. And so we did that, and I think it worked really well.
Yes, it did. And we talked about, again, you had, rightfully so, you were saying, I have one side, one candidate. The other one is not responding. What do I do? So we put that in the tag where you told the viewers that you had reached out and you were working on the other candidate and that we will have the other candidate. So that's how we try to balance and keep things in balance. And those are things to keep in mind. Sometimes it takes forever to get something done. It doesn't work out, but sometimes it does. And so that was quite an adventure, and I really appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
I know Karina had a challenge with transportation, and I'm very grateful that you still managed to give us a quick turn with, which was also interesting and important. The only thing I don't know, you probably misunderstood for the lead, that it's not also giving them money. He facilitated that, but maybe you misunderstood because I couldn't talk to you and explain to you that the lead, which everything was in the last moment, so I didn't notice that the lead was still also gave $400,000. Sounded like he personally gave it when that's not true.
I said they were awarded or like granted federal funding, but I did say his name because the way that it was written in the press release, I felt like the concept.
But that's a press release from his office,
okay,
right? It's not a neutral. They wanted to sound like
he gave it.
Exactly, and that's how it still sounded to me. I will watch it again, but that's how it still sounded to me, and I winced when I heard it, but the rest was good.
And then I did want to ask,
what happened with?
So,
you were just so amazing.
that was supposed to be a mini package.
Loving your life.
I had the mini package in there, and I guess somewhere along the line it got confused as a voiceover.
Yeah, because it was a video, and we told you to speak, and
we were like,
yeah, Sailor was looking at me just going like this, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was supposed to be a mini package, yeah.
it was good though. We got to listen to what is it with Ryan there for like.
Yeah, nice little concert for you guys, yeah, but.
Yeah, it was good, and we really appreciate, that this is not easy, and you learn a lot from these situations. And you will, this will happen to you again, I'm sure, in real time. And, when you're told keep talking, there's a reason, and you just pick up and keep talking.
I think Sailor also didn't, understand, because both of us, were looking at each other, and then she was, kind of giving me, facial expressions, she was confused.
And watch it again, and I don't know why you sort of looked down. You were expecting possibly the package to...
Oh, no, the name slipped my mind, so I had to look down to get the last name. So
I couldn't understand what was going on. It's like, why did he do that?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. The last name slipped my mind for a second, so I had to look down and get it really quickly.
Yeah, so that's what... But otherwise, kudos to you for trying something we've never done before. And who found this event? Emily, was that your idea? How?
No, it was his. He said there's a softball game at 6, and I said, all right, let's do one.
That's quite incredible. Another incredible thing. Each one of you did something quite incredible. Didn't give up on a story. Didn't give up on not having a car. Didn't give up on being a digital content creator, but still, I'll do an eclipse. And all of you, and it worked. And all of you had challenges. And sorry, your mic didn't work. I don't know. but at one point, another mic in the studio picked you up. So, but you looked so wonderful, and we just enjoyed watching you. You were cute, yeah. And halfway through, we heard you. Yeah, I have to look at it again because I was a little confused by it, and I decided not to say anything during the post-show critique because it seemed to me that you were talking about a person with their name and there was no person. So it's not okay if the graphic doesn't have the person's name? It does? Okay, but then it's okay, but I have to see it because I can't see everything there. So whatever I can't see, I don't speak on live air because I don't want to embarrass anybody, and it's not fair to you. So that's why I didn't notice it. I noticed it. I noticed that something was off, but I decided to watch the show and then speak because but you brought it up, so I don't know. I'll watch it. Yeah. So I can't answer your question. It seems to me you did the right thing, but yeah. I'll take a look. Will, that was another interesting slice of life kind of thing that you did as well. So all of you showed creativity and gave us something interesting that people cannot watch. I have a friend of mine who's a professor at Georgia North College, and actually she worked with Andrew. She has great things to say about it. But she's become a fan of our show, and she said that, you know what, I can't see these stories, you know. I live here, and I can't see stories like that. You know, she was really impressed with what you were doing. And so I realized the importance of, you know, the local people seeing those stories that nobody else will be doing. So, again, I hope you understand how proud I am of you guys, and you don't mind me inviting. I'm going to go now and write a nice email for our Sojo show to invite Solution Journalism Network, somebody to come and critique the show live on air and watch it. You guys feel like we're confident enough to do that? Because I'm running out of time to invite them. They're busy people. But just to get also another point of view, and you never know, you learn from other people. It's not just me, you know. So if you guys are comfortable, I will extend that invitation.
Since it's going to be like right there, and we're going to be like doing it, is the rest of the newsroom going to sit here and watch? Or how's that going to work?
We will cross that bridge when we get there, yes. We had a little meeting. We decided on how many cameras we will need. Yeah, that, you know, the data person will be here, so that the, you know, the guests, you know, there are many things to consider. It's very interesting to think through such a complicated thing which is in a newsroom. And so our guests will have to be able to see the data because we won't have enough monitors for them to watch live air, right? So when they're asked to comment on data, they need to be able to see it, right? So there were many things that we had to consider, including how many cameras, do we have enough cameras, where's the anchor going to stand, what are the shots that we will have for the anchor and for each speaker. So Jim Black will be our roving kind of photographer who will be roving with a camera to direct the camera to the person who's speaking, a close-up. And we'll have one close-up on the anchor, and we'll have a wide shot of everybody and the anchor. Then we'll have another camera on the data person, and so that's how things will look, and we will have to rearrange. Very good question. We'll have to cross that bridge soon, where all of you will be involved. We will need 3 people to man the other cameras, a woman or the other cameras. But Jim will take the most complicated camera, which is like following along the discussion and taking a close-up of the person who's speaking. So we will have all hands on deck. We will need all of you to step in with whatever bridge we have to cross on that day, because we've never done this live. The last time, the one and only time we did that was we recorded it. But this time we will go live, so all of you will be asked to do, I don't know, even I will be helping out. We don't know what we will need because we've never done that before. But it should be exciting. We will all learn a lot. And I really am relying on you guys to Slack us by noon tomorrow. Tell us where you are with your representative or your soundbite, so that we make sure that we've got enough good content to, and early enough so that we can choose the best of the best and a variety of concerns on our topics. And so we need everybody's creativity and everybody not to give up on a soundbite, and just be creative and get the best that you can. Put your heart into it. So that's what I would recommend. And I do trust that we'll have a good show, that all of you will do your best. I know that. And I will do my best as well. It depends on me as well. So anybody wants to say anything, any questions? Sure, I'll take a look at it.
Okay, I just don't want to, like, I'm disappointed that it didn't work.
Yeah. We can look at it together if you don't have to leave immediately. We could look at it together, give you some, or do you have to leave immediately?
I have to leave, but...
Okay, Slack it to me.
Slack it to you? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And did you want us to, did you want Ashley to post it on digital?
Yeah, sure. I'll when I get home, I'll send it to you, and then, yeah.
Yeah, but Slack her also a lead. Yeah, yeah. Because she doesn't know, and she shouldn't be doing that after hours.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Yeah, well, guys, I'm really, really proud and happy, and, you know, but let's try to have those packages on time, because we don't want these small things to ruin the show. Well, it's not ruined, but it's... All right, guys. Well done, all of you. And email me that thing. Okay. Yeah.